We had a huge night for UFC Noche. Let's recap it. Do me a favor, smash the like button. Great card, fun fight. And you know what, guys? Got to be honest, pretty much absolutely crushed this card. Let's pull up some of the action here. This is the betting. The betting card went plus over 6 units. The only thing we missed was the cycle parlay. On top of that, we hit the optimal on DraftKings. I built that on my channel as well in that GPP video. Hit the like button, comment how your night was. We're going to talk about all of the fights as I flash into our Discord real quick at DFS Army. Regardless, though, I'm going to talk about all the fights in the card. And you know what? Have a good time here. As you'd imagine, I am in a pretty solid mood. So let's go. Let's actually pull the fight card back up. Let's start all the way back at the beginning here. First fight of the night was for the tough finale. Rodrigo Cezinando and Daniil Danchenko. Danchenko wins by KO in the very first round. And while it was only a 4.5 minute fight, guys, this fight was full of action. It was super fun. Cezinando got a takedown early, I believe. Danchenko landed some big strikes. It was back and forth, but Danchenko landed, I believe it was a couple elbows, just some nasty shots. Opened up. Cezinando gets the win. Big score on DraftKings. It was only like 30% owned. We came in at 50 for DraftKings. We cashed the under 1.5 in that fight at I think it was like plus 150 or somewhere in that ballpark. Everything cashes. Great start to the night. And then Danchenko gets in the microphone and says, I don't want my purse. I am cool. Just sign my team and get him in the UFC, Dana. Super cool to see. Like the guy. Think he's a little raw. But yeah, should be interested to see. And you know what? I don't doubt that at some point we see Cezinando again in the UFC. I think he'll get another look. I think he actually looked pretty good, all things considering. Oh, didn't mean to click on whatever I clicked on my other tab here. Just give me 1 second, guys, to get the fight card. All right, let's go ahead and let's pull this up. I'm going to scroll back down here. Second fight of the night. It was Monza Rendon and Alice Pereira. Rendon wins by split decision. I don't know how this was a split. This seemed pretty clear to me. Alice Pereira, who, by the way, is not related, which is wild to say. I made that mistake briefly for all of 30 seconds, and to hear Dominic Cruz make it, that was something. Rendon gets the decision, more volume. Somebody's made a great comment on X that it looks like somebody told Pereira that if you just don't get taken down, you're going to win the fight. She didn't throw anything. She's 19. She was a can crusher on the regional scene. Totally had this one read correctly. Rendon wins by decision. It was good for cash games. Didn't end up on the optimal because she did score really poorly, but it was a great DraftKings move to just be under on her, over on Rendon. Played this one pretty spot on, and we were 2-0 after the first two fights. Then things got a little bit wonky as we go Alessandro Costa and Alden Correa. Costa and Correa wins in the third round. Costa's corner actually throws in the towel right as the fight was going to be stopped anyway. Costa looked like he had a foot injury. Didn't look good regardless. Correa looked better than I thought he would. It's hard to really gauge this one. Clearly Costa was overvalued. I had this one wrong. It didn't take a stab on Correa. But Costa was clearly compromised. It was a weird one, and on DraftKings, I was immediately sweating because I'm like, well, Correa, that score's got a really good shot to end up on the optimal because Cezinando didn't do anything, obviously. Rendon didn't score very high. Start thinking, well, this could be a rough one if the rest of the scores kind of don't pan out. So Correa gets the win. Interested to see what he does next fight. It was just weird because of the situation with Costa. So I'm not taking a ton away from that one. Then we move in, and we had the no contest. Plenty to talk about here. Zachary Reese said Rikus Dumas. About 51 seconds in, Reese does something that everybody who follows MMA wants to do, and punts Cedricus Dumas right in the dick. And I was cool with it until I realized how much exposure I had to this fight. I was overweight to both guys. I'm trying not to be super insensitive to Cedricus Dumas, but he's personally not somebody anybody likes, really, outside of the cage. Probably deserved to get kicked in the dick from what you know about him. We had the whole thing with him no money in his bank account, and I couldn't get the thought out of the back of my head, well, maybe if he asks out here, gets his show money, can ask for, hey, it's a no contest. Can I get another fight? Can I get another show money next time? Because if he loses this fight, if he loses it again, I think he's going to get cut. And I wonder if that was in the back of his mind. And that's the part where I'm like, yeah, but injuries like that, especially if you lose feeling, especially if it was his best. I mean, it was a solid kick. He got punted there. Could be real injury, but one, if it was, I don't feel bad for the guy. Sorry. And two, if it wasn't, there's that nagging doubt in my mind that it wasn't, and then he wants his extra show money. And if he's not really hurt, he needs to be cut. And I wouldn't hate if this was the end of his contract and they cut him anyway. Tough for Zachary Reese. He'll get back in there. I think he was in a pretty good spot. Weird fight overall. And that's kind of my take on the Dumas could not continue situation. I'm trying to center myself back up here, guys. Then we got Jesus Aguilar and Luis Gruel. This is an underdog bet that we did cash. To go get that line here, it was plus 172. Felt really good about this one. Goes to decision. Good damage back and forth in the fight. Overall, I just don't think Luis Gruel is active enough. Loses another one in the UFC 0-2. I'll be interested to see if he gets another look. I'm not convinced he will. It was a fun fight. Is it one to keep him around? Don't know. We shit the bed twice as a favorite. In his 2 UFC starts, he got finished in the second round against Ode Osborne last time out. Maybe he gets one more shot. I don't know. Maybe give him somebody like a Libby, who just lost the Ultimate Fighter. Maybe Joseph Morales is an interesting matchup. Yeah, so Aguilar wins the fight. Both guys had their moments in this one. I think Aguilar clearly won it. Glad to cash the bet there and kind of move on. I don't think he ended up on the DraftKings Optimal. He did not. All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about next fight. Move right along here in our recap. Tatiana Suarez, Amanda Lemos. Look, Tatiana Suarez ends up on the optimal, which really just means enough underdogs won. That there was clearly the optimal should the winning DraftKings lineup in all the GPP contests. This is the lineup that did take it down. Clearly, there were a couple bigger scores out there, cheaper than Tatiana, but you would have had to leave so much salary on the table that nobody did it. So it does win. And really, Tatiana in this fight, as I'm trying to switch back here, there we go. She gets 3 takedowns, doesn't do a lot of damage, but clearly controls round 1 and 2. Was controlling round 3. Lemos does manage to get up and started landing a ton of, did a lot of damage. Suarez was just holding on for dear life at the end. If the MMA scoring is what it is, I don't think Suarez's stock goes up with that win. I think we can agree it was not an exciting fight. And I'm a big Tatiana Suarez fan. Not her best performance. Her stock does not go up. I don't think she gets any closer to a title fight. And that whole division is kind of, it's just in a weird spot right now with Virna and Dern going to fight for the title next. With Weili moving up. It's just weird. Again, Tatiana clearly won it. It was good for DraftKings. I'm going to continue to be cautious because Tatiana really she can't get takedowns. She's her grappling is just not looking good at all. It should be very concerning. All right, let's talk Claudio's Puelas and Joaquim Neto BJJ Silva. Look, Puelas was part of my cycle parlay, and he had his moments in this one as Silva wins via split decision. It was Puelas wins round one, grappling, had some moments, did a little bit of damage, didn't get takedowns in round two. Really, Silva did a lot more damage. And then Puelas was winning in round three with control, was clearly hurt with shots to the body. And then Silva comes on late, drops him in the last minute of the third round. I didn't think there was much. I didn't think Puelas did enough with his grappling. And I picked him to win to really seal that round. And the damage Silva did at the final minute was more than enough, in my opinion, to get him that win. Tough because Puelas had a lot of control time. Didn't really go for any submission threats, submission attempts. Silva did a really good job defending, getting back to his feet, did more damage. Really close. It was lined as a pick'em. Should have been a pick'em. No problem with the winner here. Tough to see where Claudio Puelas is going to go from here. Who do they put him in front of now? Just weird in terms of career trajectory. They said they were talking on the broadcast how Puelas is part of the Spanish broadcast team. I don't know where he's going to go. He might have one or two more fights left in him. Not sure. Both these guys, I think, towards the back end of their career. Fun fight, deserved winner in Joaquim Silva. Then we get Dusko Todorovic and Jose Daniel Medina. And I said it everywhere. This is one that we cashed the under 1.5 on. Plus 185. That just was wild. I took a shot on Todorovic KO. Jose Daniel Medina, and obviously Todorovic is on the optimal scoring 112 here. Todorovic or Medina, while he's bad, has been super tough. Todorovic beat him up. He was bloody, controlled the fight, and then did something smart that I didn't know Todorovic really had in his skill set, or didn't think he would in this fight. He got a takedown and finished with a choke. Your head can be super tough. You can be super durable. If you're not good and you give up a choke, you're going to tap or go to sleep, and that's what happened here. Props to Todorovic. I think since the camp change, he continues to look better and better. He's a killer, be killed type of fighter. Going to be fun to see what he does next. I'm going to keep targeting unders and DraftKings GPP fights. Really good performance from Dusko Todorovic. Liked him in this one. And then we get into the main card, and I mean, it was short. It was only 2 minutes 48 seconds, and Luna Kongli, made a run. I think they're going to get it. Made a run at Fight of the Night. Super fun. Santiago Luna, we cashed him at minus 135. He's also another guy who ended up on the optimal lineup here at minus 1 at 117 points. Kongli comes out, hurts him, drops him early. Luna's looking in all kinds of trouble, looking like he's in all kinds of trouble, then gets a takedown to kind of settle everything. Kongli does a good job back up. Kongli is really, really well-rounded as well. But then Santiago Luna lands some shots, battles through adversity early, and then drops Kongli twice. So Kongli is a little bit durable as well. But Luna, I think his star is on the rise. Interesting to see what they do with him next. I think based on that reaction, I think they're going to give him a winnable fight. I don't think they're going to push him too hard too early. Interesting contender in the bantamweight division because he's so young. It's kind of got to give him a few more fights, see what he's going to develop into. But I think a really good outing for him on Noche UFC is going to get him a bunch of fans, especially in the Mexican market. All right, let's go ahead and let's go to Alexander Hernandez and Diego Ferreira. I'm glad I stayed away from this. Hernandez did not end up on the optimal. I kind of forgot some of the spots on the optimal here. But he gets a finish in the second round against Diego Ferreira. Diego won round one. It's kind of, Hernandez is not high volume. They said it on the broadcast. He's trying to counter. He was able to get Chase Cooper, and he was able to get Diego Ferreira. He was able to pull him into the right hand. Not exactly, but he clearly has power in the right hand. Is what he used to drop Beneil Dariush in that UFC debut that kind of derailed Benny's early run at a title shot. Hernandez is low volume but has power. and he's landed 2 in a month. Congrats to him. It was a big knockout. The stoppage. Everyone jumped on how late it was. It was late. Don't get me wrong. It was a late stoppage. But if you look at the ground and pound, a lot of the strikes, the heavy strikes, missed. I don't think he had to wait for as much ground and pound to land. But I think that's why it went on as long as it did. He was hurt, ate a couple. And I think the ref was waiting for like 1 or 2 more. And it looked like they landed. But if you watch, at least what I saw, was a couple of the big ones, as it was coming down, Ferrer was a little bit there, reactionary, maybe, probably a better word for it, was rolling just out of the way. And they would glance, they wouldn't hit. I don't think it should have come to that. I do think it should have been stopped. He wasn't all there. But the big shot, and the referee's waiting for the big shot to land. So it was late. I don't think it was as bad as X's initial reaction was, and maybe I'll get some heat for that. It was a late stoppage, but Ferreira didn't get put out and didn't eat flush any of the ground and pound until the end, and that's when the stoppage came. I don't think he was. It's weird. It was a weird spot. So late stoppage, but not like egregious, not like Mario Yamasaki late. All right, then we get to talk about Kelvin Gastelum, Dustin Stoltzfus. Probably fight of the night, and I hope Dustin Stoltzfus gets 100K, gets Kelvin's 50. And like Kelvin took the fight on 4 weeks' notice. 4 weeks should be enough time to make weight if you're a professional. I'm not buying this bullshit. I think I'm with most people, and I'm over Kelvin Gastelum, who gets his hand raised by decision here. Both guys were doing damage. Both guys had moments. A couple times I thought Stoltzfus was going to finish Gastelum. Maybe if Gastelum's got to cut weight, is a little more dehydrated, maybe he gets the KO. It's one of the things that really bothers me. I can't over-assume that because Kelvin has been tough his entire career and hard to put away. But it bothers me, man. Stoltzfus had some good takedowns, landed plenty of good shots. Just Gastelum deservedly got the win, had a few bigger moments, but I think it was a good performance for Stoltzfus. Should be fight of the night. I want Stoltzfus to get all the money. I'm okay cutting Gastelum after win. I don't give a shit that his fight against Izzy is in the UFC Hall of Fame. The dude continues to miss weight. He missed by 5 pounds. He continues to make a joke of everything. Like, he wants to go fight welterweight, and you can't make middleweight on 4 weeks notice, bro. No, done. Props to Stoltzfus. Tough fight. I think he's going to hang around in the UFC for a little while. Good. Probably not going to make a top 10 run, but a guy I'm going to look forward to fighting. Action-packed fights. Has had a few good performances, even without getting wins in a couple of them. I think even though Gastelum wins, Stoltzfus's stock goes up much more than Gastelum. And I'm pretty over Kelvin Gastelum. All right, let's go Rafa Garcia and Jared Gordon, although this one could be fight of the night too. Like, the last 4 fights of this card were fantastic. I'm personally rooting for Gastelum Stoltzfus to get fight of the night because I want Stoltzfus to get all the money. Garcia Gordon. Garcia gets a late stoppage on Jared Gordon, came out with a knee brace. I think by the time clearly is catching up to Gordon. Rafa wins the first round pretty decisively. Gordon, the second round was closer. They both had their moments. I would have leaned the second round towards Gordon. It looks like all 3 judges gave the round to Garcia anyway. But Garcia comes out, lands a big strike, gets a takedown, jumps on top, almost gets a submission, gives it up, lands some elbows. They were just phone booth fighting. They were just throwing. And it was fun fight. Gordon's been durable his whole career. Just, I think, again, father time, too much, got overwhelmed. Rafa Garcia, again, got hurt a bunch, fought through it, kind of that stereotypical Mexican toughness you hear about. Super fun fight, though. And for me, I'm glad Rafa Garcia got the win. Obviously, because I thought the line was too wide. We cashed Rafa Garcia at plus 196. So that's always nice when you cash one of those. And then he was part of the optimal as well. We were slightly over Rafa Garcia, paid off there. And then we had to pretty much knowing, okay, Diego Lopez wins. We're going to end up on the optimal unless something crazy happens in the main or... Oh, I didn't flip to my monitor. Sorry, guys. But something happens in the co-main, and while it was super fun, David Martinez gets the win. Stock goes through the roof. Going to end up in the top 10 of this division after winning against Rob Font. When David Martin, and I didn't know in the broadcast either that he's a practicing doctor. I think I vaguely remember it from his first fight, but it's still mind-boggling. Full-time doctor, full-time fighter, and the dude is good. Whenever he lands, he caused damage to Rob Font. Now, Rob Font, I don't think wears damage great, but David Martinez looked fantastic. I thought he was going to get a finish in the last minute of that fight. You know, props to him. Looked great, especially on short notice. This was supposed to be Raul Rosa's junior spot on the card. Martinez steps in, lands the bigger strikes throughout. Looked good. I mean, Font, as you'd expect, the guy had some moments, but this was a David Martinez come out party. Loved it for him. Good fight. Interested to see what he gets next. If they're going to have him continue to fight up the rankings, give him someone, 10 through 15, get him another win, because he's only 2-0 in the UFC. So I'll be interested to see what they do there. But good fight, good decision. Not a great DraftKings scoring fight, just as we anticipated. And that gets us to the main event, Diego Lopez and John Silva. And cash Diego Lopez at plus 212. That line felt disrespectful. It really did. And obviously Diego on the optimal as well. 212 for Diego Lopez. When they're both violent on the feet and Lopez got such a big ground advantage, and Silva does, he gave up takedowns by overcommitted and overthrowing. Did it in the first round. Lopez beats the shit out of him in mount. Almost got finishes a few times. Loved the 12-6 elbows he was throwing in there. John Silva, on the other hand, a good job to weather it, get back up, and then was doing much better round two, was winning round two until he got caught up on the heat, overcommitted again, got taken down, gets back to his feet and continues to overcommit, was throwing all kinds of crazy elbows, getting super aggressive. The tide was slowly turning, and he just overcommitted. Diego Lopez hits him with the back elbow, drops him, blood everywhere. Diego Lopez gets the finish. Silva protests the stoppage, and I'm over the whole John Silva shtick. Like, I'm good. The fighting nerds were, 0-3 in the last 2 weeks. They're starting to piss me off. Oh, the main event, guys. I know there's other fighters in the camp, but Bahayo and Prates and Silva picked against all of them. They all lose. This line was disrespectful. This was a good stoppage from Beltran. Silva was cut. He was holding onto the cage. He was bleeding. He was out of there. He's sorry. It was a good stoppage. If it doesn't get stopped there, everyone's going to be pissed and moaning that it was a late stoppage and calling for Beltran's head. Agree with the stoppage. Props to Diego Lopez. I think he's going to probably need to win one more to get back in the title, to get another title fight after losing to Volk. We'll see how things go, but that was super fun. John Silva overcommitted. Sorry, not sorry. I'd be interested to see what he does here. Really just fun fight, great main card. The card early was slow at points, but I think the last five, the whole main card, the 6-fight main card, Santiago Luna, Hernandez knockout, Gaston Stoltzfus was fun, Garcia was fun, Martinez had a good showing, and Diego Lopez. I mean, it was a fun main card. Crush all the bets if you tailed them. Built the optimal on the YouTube channel. This is a recap for UFC Noche UFC. Do me a favor, hit the like button for me. We do have a week off next week, and then we get to Carlos Zolberg back in the cage. Should be fun, guys. Yeah. Let me know what you think of these recap videos, just like talking fights. I think maybe in the future I might have somebody on after the fights. I just kind of decided it was a good thing to do. Hang out, talk some fights. You guys drop any comments, I will respond to them. Gonna go enjoy my wedding, see if DraftKings has officially cashed this all out. Enjoy your week off. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Good luck with whatever else you're doing, NASCAR, whatever you're doing in the week off, NFL tomorrow. Make sure you join DFS Army. I'll give you that plug. Link in the description for that. And I will see you guys for MMA content in 2 weeks.